Okay, recording started. Okay. We'll count down. 3, 2, 1, and welcome into a special edition of Drone Nation tonight. Marcus and I here. DeMarco could not make it tonight. He's at a baseball game, but we're going to talk about the DJI Mini 2 SE. We've spoken about this a lot over the past month or two since we first heard word of it, and just today it was officially released by DJI. But it's actually, a recorded drone DJI. It starts shipping on the 18th, and today's the 16th. But you can pre-order, which Marcus already did. But before we get into any of this, Marcus, I'm going to roll this promo video.
I do that. That sounds good.
Let's see. Let's get this started here.
Yay!
And typically, the marketing departments for these drone companies don't know their audience. Everybody in that video was young, and and when you actually see people flying drones, even mini drones, they all look like us. They don't look like those young, happy people in those videos.
Yeah, a bunch of old geezers like us. I hear you, Ron.
Okay, so how did you find out about this release this morning, Marcus?
Well, I got a text message from a friend of mine by the name of Ron Brown. That was the first time I saw it. But then, like everybody else, I got the email from DJI.
I got it at 9:06 a.m. my time.
Yeah. I got that email as well, Ron. So let me just dive right into the big surprise for me, Ron, and I suspect for you as well. We were both, I think, when we were originally talking about this drone, a little disappointed at the price point, right? The rumored price point was $369, which was just seemed like a bridge too far. It was too close to Ron, you I think discovered the other day that the Mini 3 was on sale for just the drone alone was $409 or something like that.
I think it's just the drone itself is $379, and the complete kit is $469 on sale until April 7th.
Yeah, so the point being that made it too close to that price point, or the Mini 2 for that matter. That it seemed like they were really slicing the pie, but it came out at $339. So $339, that's a $40 price jump from the original Mini SE at $299, which, you and I always thought was a tremendous value. And I think there's enough added value to this drone that is probably worth it. Not the least of which is the RCN1 controller.
And we'll get into the side-by-side stats in a minute, but you bring up a good point. OcuSync 2 versus Wi-Fi, that's a big win for the...
They called the original Mini SE, well, just like the original Mavic Mini, they called it enhanced Wi-Fi.
Hmm.
And Ron, it's damn good. I mean, my
Yeah,
experience was
yeah,
it
yeah.
was really good. However, OcuSync 2 is way better. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I
not
mean, if you declare one line of sight with the Mini One or the Mini, the first Mini SE, but where it fell apart is if you went behind stuff or whatever, then the penetration to go through anything, trees, buildings, or whatever, where the OcuSync 2 drones do.
right, right. And ironically, well, not coincidentally, holding these side by side, boy, there's a big difference in weight. I'm telling you, the RCN1 controller is definitely it's definitely heavier.
But it feels better in the hand.
Yeah, I totally agree. So one of the big objections to this guy was, you had to put your mobile device underneath, and the RCN1 controller, obviously, it's on top, uh, and and uh, and is people like looking up at the controller rather
Yeah.
than
It
you know
gives you a
having.
better grip on the bottom then without the phone down there.
Yeah, and it was always a little really awkward getting your mobile device in there and so forth.
Getting that cable in the side there was always a challenge.
It's not all just a one-way street, though, Ron. One of the cool things about this controller is the fact that it is lighter and more portable. So that's positive for
Mhm.
this guy.
Yeah, and now even that's kind of the SE version of that controller. That controller originally came out with the Mavic Pro, and it had an LCD screen, so it was a much nicer controller than this kind of
R-
SE
Yeah,
version
it
of
had
the
more
original.
buttons and had telemetry and
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
else in
yeah.
there.
So that is
DJI seems to have forgotten telemetry on a controller because I always thought there'd be a version of the RCN one that had telemetry on it, but they never did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we thought if when they put the Mavic 3, you at least could have put like you said, a version of that control with telemetry in a what do you call a semi-pro drone like the Mavic 3. But
Like the Mavic
they
3,
probably
right?
already knew they had the smart controller. What do we call the smart controller
Yeah, well,
too?
the DJI RC or the
RC
RC
Pro. They
Pro.
knew they were already in the works, so they didn't worry about gussying up the old RCN1.
Yeah, the RCN one, no doubt
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I'll be honest with you. They have their pluses and minuses, but I like both controllers really.
okay. Well, folks, we better move on before we're boring people with the controller nation here. But now your ordering process, you went straight to DJI.com, right?
Right, right.
And to walk us through your order process.
Yeah, so it was very quick and easy. Yeah, I just $339. I had about $5 in DJI dollars to spend, so I applied that. Might as well use it while you can. And then they had a special here initially. I think for the next few days, you get what they call UPS expedited shipping. What does that mean, Ron? I don't know. Whether you get it in overnight or 2 days or whatever it is. However, on my order, it says you had mentioned earlier that it was to ship on the 18th. Mine has an estimated ship date of the 20th.
So you're right.
So
You're probably right about the 2 day shipping then.
yeah, yeah. So I don't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So will
yeah.
I get it? Will I have it in my hand on the 24th, 25th, or 22nd, 23rd? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll
Hopefully,
see.
if it ships on the 18th, you get it on the 20th.
Well, it's now mine says it's estimated to ship on the 20th.
Okay, so I don't know where Drone DJ got that 18th. Maybe that was the keyboard warriors who ordered it like precisely at 9:06 when the email came out. You were a little late. Now there was also a tax break on this drone, wasn't there, Marcus?
Well, they didn't charge Idaho sales tax. I can tell you that.
And Richard, our good friend Richard, reported that he ordered it also in New York, and he got the same thing as you, no tax on it. So I, I I think you've got breaks for. I can't imagine people in New York normally not getting taxed for anything like other than New Jersey. We're the type of states where they tax everything.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, so the order process went real smooth for you. And of course, you don't need a fly more package because it'll use the batteries you have for your Mini 2. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. The Mini 2, the current Mini SE that I have, well, in fact, it'll even use the original DJI Mavic Mini batteries will work in it.
So you have a lot of batteries for that all in
Yeah.
your own hand.
So I just got the standard package, Ron. The only thing I probably would have liked would have been a a a case for it, but that's all right. We'll make do.
Yeah, I know you have to keep stuff together, but if you're going to go out in the field, you could just take the one of the other minis out of their case, sit them on the desk, and throw that in.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah, that could
Yeah,
easily be done. So
yeah.
this that I have in my hand right here is everybody's familiar with. I see that it's starting to peel off, Ron, but it's the Johnny Mini SE. So
Oh,
I might have to redo that sticker, but
right.
that's in honor of our friend Johnny Alfonso. When I first bought this drone, but he was kidding around with us. He said, "Yeah, send me the money. I'll order it for you." And I said, "Yeah, okay. I'll name it the Johnny Mini SE." And that kind of stuck. But I've enjoyed the heck out of this little guy. $300, and so now another $40, and you get that additional functionality. So I think it's a good thing. Yeah.
So this is just to let people know this is the second SE in the mini series that's been released by DJI. And is it too early to get into the numbers here or the specs? You pulled up a kind of a comparison between the three, and just let people know off the top. I mean, this is pretty much what I believe, anyways. Is the Mini 2 SE isn't a new drone, anyways. All it is the Mini 2 with some firmware stripping out some features, kind of like the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 3. This isn't a new drone in any form, and what it doesn't have is all just software downgrades. There's no hardware downgrades.
Right. So, Ron, I'll tell you what. I'm going to share my screen, and maybe we can just scroll down and go through this.
Yeah,
What do you think?
good. Let's do it.
Let me hit present. Slides, video file, extra camera, share screen. There we go. So Chrome tab, consumer.
Sorry, folks. This should be easier than it is. It's like 6 clicks to share a screen.
Every time you do it,
It already was full screen. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can get rid of that banner. Hold on, hide the banner. Okay, people know that we're talking about. Okay, so we're full screen. The banner's gone. So
okay, perfect. Okay, so I listed the Mini SE, the Mini 2 SE, and the Mini 3. And the reason I put the Mini 3 up there rather than the Mini 2 is because the Mini 3 is kind of the bargain price version of that next generation. Ron, if you'd rather I switch that to the Mini 2, I could do that easy.
Keep it like that, because if you're done that, I will run through Drone DJ's same comparison, but the Mini 2 in place of the Mini 3. So we'll do it both ways.
Yeah. So you can see the prices here. That's probably the first thing. $299 for the Mini SE, which, by the way, DJI is showing out of stock right now.
I was gonna pause you there for a second. How much longer do you think we'll see the Mini 2 SE? No, the Mini SE available from DJI?
Well, it's no longer available new. I think you can still buy it refurb, and refurb it's a good buy at $239.
Real good.
So that's really a bargain.
Okay, so buying a new Mini SE from DJI is probably go over.
I think it's all done and over with, and now they're selling the Mini 2 SE. So as you can see here, $40 difference, and so you're taking then a much bigger jump to get up to the Mini 3 at $469. But there are, it's still within the realm of possibility. Somebody is looking for a bargain drone. That Mini 3 does bring some things to the table that they might be interested in. The next thing is the takeoff weight, and I thought
can I stop just for a second before we move on from pricing? That's a sale price right now, the $469. But if you just wanted to buy the Mini 3 without the controller and the battery, you could get that for, I believe it's $379 now. So that puts it only 80. No, that only puts it only $40 higher than the
Yeah,
Mini 2 SE.
yeah. If you already had an RCN1
Yeah,
controller, yeah, you
yeah.
could do that. Uh, in any case, I thought this was interesting. If we look at the weights here, uh, 249 on the Mini SE and 246 on the Mini 2 SE. So it's a little bit lighter. I wonder what that's all about. So
So maybe my stuff about the physical difference may not be, well. We don't know what how it compares to the Mini 2.
yeah, the dimensions I think are kind of meaningless. I mean, for all intents and purposes. Although I guess it is interesting to see how much the Mini 3 is a little bit bigger. It is definitely
Yeah, I mean the Mini 2 series is definitely more compact as far as
more compact.
putting it in a case than the Mini 3.
Yeah. So what's more interesting here is the speeds. A lot of folks are going to be interested in that. The ascent speed and descent speed, that is more important than you think. That changes the whole feeling of the drone. And the faster that it can go up and go down makes it easier to get the drone in a position that you want it to be in. And in fact, in some ways, that's more important, I think, than the max horizontal speed. But I found this to be pretty accurate, what you're seeing right here, at least with the Mini 3. I was flying it the other day. I had it up to 16 meters per second. And again, the Mini SE, that 13 meters per second, which is about, I don't know, 28, 29 miles an hour, is about, I think, is pretty accurate. So the Mini 2 SE, is they're saying, is going to be on par speed-wise with the Mini 3, which makes it a pretty quick little drone. Maximum takeoff altitude, what they're talking about there is how high above sea level you are with it. So, take that for what it's worth. I know there's plenty of people that have had them up much higher than that. That's not how high you're going to fly the drone. That is how high you are at the point of takeoff above sea level. Important to make that distinction. The one that's probably important to a lot of people is the flight time here. And this is where you see some big differences. So you get an extra minute with this new Mini SE. I don't know why that is, but you do. But the Mini 3 is the one that really kicks up the flight time. 38 minutes with the standard battery and 51 when you put the battery plus on there, which makes a big difference.
But which also puts it over 250 grams.
Which also puts it over 250. That's correct. Hovering time, I don't care about that. Do you, Ron?
And they don't even give data for the SEs.
Yeah. Max flight distance, they're saying no data. That's interesting. And they're saying,
well, if you want to guess that, just go look at the Mini 2 stats, and that'll probably be the same as the
yeah.
what you get for the Mini 2 SE.
I wonder if they're talking about how far. Well, I was just thinking how far you could fly it with a full battery, because it's giving you a much longer distance here with the battery plus. So I think that has to do with how far out they think you can fly it. I don't know. I think that's what that is. Max flight distance is how far you can fly on a battery. I believe that's what it means. The wind resistance. This is a big deal to all of us. It's showing all of them at level 5 wind resistance. So that's about 24, 25 miles an hour, to put this 10.7 meters per second into perspective. I'm going to tell you, I just think that the Mini 3 is going to be the king of that, simply because it can pitch farther into the wind. Yeah, and they're saying max tilt angle is 40 degrees for all of them. So,
yeah, no, I agree with you. The Mini 3 is better in the wind than at least the Mini 2 was. No matter what these stats say, just I know it flies a little bit better.
That's our seat of the pants.
Yeah.
Operating temperature. Well, I see the Mini 3 will go down a little colder than the other two. I wasn't aware of that.
Right.
So basically, the two SEs, they don't want you below freezing. And you know what? I can kind of vouch for that. I remember one time I flew the original Mavic Mini below 32 degrees, and it caused, I saw a bunch of shaking in the gimbal and stuff. It just,
Hmm.
yeah, it wasn't, well, I think what it did, Ron, is that those little isolators in the gimbal, I think were uh, not as pliable as they normally would be.
Hmm.
So, possibility there. This next one is interesting. The satellite system. The Mini SE just has GPS and GLONASS. The Mini 3 and the Mini 2 SE include Galileo.
Oh,
So
Galileo.
yeah,
And that,
Galileo,
and, is that,
Galileo.
and that satellite is active now as of a couple months ago.
Yeah, yep, yep. The European Galileo system. Yep.
Because when the Mavic 3 came out, it had Galileo, but the satellite wasn't you know, wasn't active yet.
Yeah, yeah. So the when we talk about hovering accuracy, they're all virtually the same. And what this drone has, it's got optical flow sensor in the middle there, and then two time of flight sensors. I believe those are both time of flight sensors on each side.
Yeah.
And
Marcus,
basically,
could you have added the Hubsan Zeno to this hovering accuracy range?
yeah, yeah, it's funny. I flew that old drone today, and yeah, no, it would be an issue. Yeah, not even close. Not even that thing moves around like, yeah. And none of them have internal storage. And that's just interesting. I just see that on the Mini 3. The Mini 3 Pro has a couple of gigs of internal storage
Yes.
in the
That's
Mini.
the only mini drone, to my knowledge, that has it. Or does the Hubsan Mini have it?
The Hudson Minis do, yeah.
Okay,
So
the Pro at least, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The Pro for sure. I'm trying to remember on the
Okay.
SE. I don't remember, Ron. So the camera here, of course, identical for the image sensor at least is
Yeah.
identical for the two SEs, and then the Mini 3 has a bigger sensor, which we knew that
Right.
already. All of them 12 megapixels. Field of view very similar. So although the aperture is much bigger on the Mini 3,
Right.
focus 1 meter to infinity, so the same as all of them. ISO range is the same for all of them.
Wow.
Yeah, yep. Electronic shutter. That's what, Ron, you're going to have to help me with this. So 4 to 1/1000. So does that mean four?
Yeah, I think the 1/8000 is a shutter speed, but I don't really know what the 4 in front of it means. So I guess two's better than 4 in this case.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're meaning seconds. I mean, that would be
Yeah,
holding that aperture open for a long time. I don't.
yeah.
That doesn't sound right,
I,
does it?
I don't even have a guess here outside of
Yeah.
seeing the 1/8000 is shutter. So and you rarely would you want to be at 1/8000, but no mechanical shutter on this, Marcus.
Yeah, yeah, no mechanical shutter. What
Hey,
would
I don't
that?
know if it's going to be on here or not down the thing, but the Mini 2 SE, it doesn't have any vertical video on it, does it?
No, it does not. Yeah, no, and that's something that the Mini 3 does have.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So image size. So this is no surprise. 4K, for the 4:3, it's literally 4:3. But in 16:9, the Mini SE will shoot in 16:9, but the other two will not. I did not know that, Ron.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, almost all, yeah, yeah, that's weird because almost all cameras shoot in that, we'll call it the landscape mode of 16:9. I mean, I got so many darn cameras and drones around here that I can't sit here and swear that well, I don't even have the Mini 3. Maybe the Mini 3 Pro has it and
yeah,
the 3
yeah,
does it, whatever.
but what we
But
can't.
the most people prefer the 4:3 because, excuse me, I got a cough.
Yeah, yeah, because you get all the
They get more
resolution.
data in it, whatever, and you could just change it to 16:9 in software.
Right, and that's the point. Is you could always do that in post production. As you can see, 2250. It's just simply squishing that. It's just taking part of the frame. It's not really doing anything other than that.
It's
But
only good for somebody that doesn't want to do any. They basically they don't want to do anything but what happens on the drone or in the they don't want to do any editing or they don't want to take any type of editing program at all. Then the 16:9 could come in.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. So Ron, do you want to talk through the still photography modes? You probably know more about that and how it affects things than I do.
Yeah, of course, every camera has single shot, and it says timed 12 megapixel time. So I don't know if that's talking about burst because I thought we saw it didn't have a burst mode. Well, no, a time thing is different. I'm one of those people. I never use that time mode on almost any device, so I really can't speak to that. The JPEG looks like they're the same. They don't list any stats for the old mini the first mini SE. So I got a little bit of something in my throat here.
Yeah, okay, Ron. Yeah, I can talk to it. So it's the J. So what you can get on the Mini 2 SE and the Mini 3 that you don't get on the original SE is you can shoot in RAW. So
And
it'll
that was
shoot
that was also a miss on the Mini One that they didn't have RAW.
right. So JPEG and RAW, it gives you. If I Ron, I've never done it, so I don't know, but it gives you two versions of the same picture. Am I
Right,
correct?
right,
Yeah,
right. And some
yeah.
people don't like that because then they got a whole bunch of extra data on their
Extra
memory.
data, sure. But you also have AEB, automatic exposure bracketing, which it's the same. You don't have that on the original SE. You do have that on the Mini 2 SE, which is a big deal if you for dynamic range. If you want to get the bright areas right and the darker areas right. Ron is the king of that, and you do that in post production. So three
Yeah,
frames.
that's nice that it was added. Yep,
Yeah.
sure.
Two thirds of an EV step, I guess. So it shoots both sides. It shoots one where it thinks it's properly exposed, then one underexposed, and one overexposed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing that you get on the Mini 2 SE that you don't get on the Mini SE is panorama. So it's giving you sphere 180 and wide angle. You didn't get any of that on the original Mini SE. So that's a
good
big
win.
plus.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big old plus.
Can I backtrack just for a second with the auto exposure bracketing?
Sure.
On the Mini 3 Pro, you actually get 5. You can choose 3 or 5 frames. So that gives you one more on the overexposed and one more on the underexposed. That for even increased dynamic range possibilities.
Yeah, that's interesting because you only get 3 on the Mini 3, but the Mini 3 Pro, which obviously it's Pro, right?
Right, and I think on the Mavic 3, you can go up to 7 stops as a popular word. And of course, here's a thing here: only the Mini 3 has HDR, single shot mode, supports outputting HDR images. Now that's a automatic HDR image that requires no no work by the photographer or the drone flyer. But you could always, with this Mini 2 SE, you could always go back to that auto exposure bracketing, take your 3 brackets, use software such as Lightroom, and do that manually yourself, and probably get a better HDR image than what the drone's doing automatically on the Mini 3.
Yeah, so that HDR on the Mini 3, I'm assuming, Ron, that's probably some form of computational photography.
Yeah, it's doing it's doing it's kind of it's like you said, the AI is figuring out the bright parts and dark parts of the image and doing stuff. But I'm not poo pooing the automatic HDR image. Lots of times it's good enough. I mean it's fine. If you don't need to do all that work by taking in Lightroom and matching your brackets up, it's great that it does that for you. But I'm just saying the Mini 2 people aren't left out of, or the Mini 2 SE people aren't left out of HDR because they can just do it manually.
Well, let me add, Ron, one of my favorite features of the original DJI Air 2, not the Air 2S, but the original Air 2, was, I can't remember what they called it. They called it Smart Photo, I believe.
Smart Photo, yep. And that was real nice, yep.
Holy cow. I mean, Ron, I could never edit a photo like that. They always looked so much better. I mean, just Dr. Automatic guy like me, I wish I had that on every drone that I own.
Yep.
uh,
Worth keeping that drone around just for your photo drone.
yeah, yeah. And there's that photo format again that you can get DNG RAW
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that you can't get on the old Mini SE.
Which is pretty much standard on everything now. Even like budget cameras and stuff have this. So yeah.
Yeah, pretty handy thing to have. So video resolution. So this was
Here's the biggie. Yep.
yeah, this was a disappointment for me with the Mini 2 SE. I wish they'd have put some form of 4K on there at least 30 frames per second, but they didn't. So you have 1080 or FHD, full HD is what that stands for, 1920 by 1080, and you can shoot up to 60 frames per second. But then 2.7K, you can shoot in up to 30 frames per second. And I'm going to say this, Ron, the 2.7K off of these little DJI cameras is better than the 4K off of a lot of other drones. So
Right.
it looks really good. It's just
Agreed.
that it's 4K is so popular now that it.
The only unfortunate thing here, Marcus, is off the Mini 2. The Mini 2 offered 60 frames per second in 2.7K, and they dumbed the 2 SE down to remove
Oh,
that
that's true. That's right.
from the 2.7. So that's kind of disappointing that because they know people want 60 frames per second, so they kind of took it away even at 2.7 to hopefully make people buy the Mini 3 instead, because you can see the Mini 3 has the 60 frames per second in a 2.7K.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so Ron, HDR in video with the Mini 3. So if somebody
Yeah.
they don't want to do a lot of post processing, yeah, that's a handy thing to have.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, and that's another reason to stay in 30 frames or under, because that does not work in 60 frames per second.
right. Video format, they're all in H.264. Now I get confused sometimes, Ron. When they say video format, I often call that a codec. Is that a correct terminology, or is
Yeah,
it wrong?
that's what a lot of people call Kodak or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Where of course the better drones will have what's the
H.265 or
yeah, yeah,
ProRes, of course, was
yeah, which is more, these are more Apple type of
yeah,
Kodaks.
yeah, yeah.
But the 264 is kind of universal one. That's the one YouTube likes, and many upload sites want them in 264. Not that you can't, if you have 265 or ProRes, you can convert them over. But 264 is a little bit more of a space hog. 265 takes up less room on your hard drives.
That's the way I've always heard it explained. Is it is a more efficient codec?
Yeah,
Is the way I've
yeah.
heard that explained.
But also taxes your computer processor harder to be more efficient.
Right, right,
So it's an
right.
up and down side to all that,
Yeah,
And if you don't understand or care about what we just said, doesn't matter at all. If you're a beginner or whatever, you just go to 264 and you're good to go.
probably doesn't matter. So Ron,
Since they're not 4K files, they're not going to be that big anyways.
right. Bit rate 40 megabits per second. I'll let you explain that. That's a fairly important statistic.
Yeah, 40 megabits, is kind of, in this day and age, is kind of slow. And that's, the amount of, bytes or whatever that can be processed through the, the image processor, whatever, the speed that they go through. So in other words, all you have to know here is the bigger the number, the better the image will look coming out of your device.
There is more information in that image, that the bigger that number
Yeah, yeah.
is.
And the 100 is pretty much industry kind of standard now on
Right.
a affordable drone. Now, the more expensive drone, the higher that number goes up.
Yeah.
Like what's the Mavic 3?
Yeah.
150, 200?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm trying to remember, 150 or 200. I don't remember,
Yeah,
Ron.
yeah.
I'd have to look that up. But file system here, FAT32 or exFAT if you're above 32 gigabytes, that makes sense.
You
Color
don't have to
mode,
know that at all because the drones themselves format the cards, so you
it
don't
will
have to
format the card for
you
you.
don't have to
Yeah.
know it. You don't have to know anything about this.
Yep. Color mode, normal. So, Ron, do you think they're talking about white balance there? I
Well,
think.
they don't offer a log or a descent like or anything profile.
Oh, that's what they
All they
mean.
have is
Gotcha. Sure.
they don't have any log or D
Sh-
log as DJI likes to call it. Yeah, so
Sure. Sure.
where the Mini 3 Pro offers a descent like color mode.
So this next one is the one that I think is important, digital
Yeah,
zoom. You
yeah.
had no digital zoom on the SE, on the Mini 2 SE. You do. You got 3 by in 2.7K and 4 by in full HD. That's a big deal. And
That's a big
obviously,
deal to a lot of people. Yep.
yeah, similar on the Mini 3, you can go up to 2 by in 4K. Mechanical range on the gimbal, as you would expect, the Mini 3 has a bigger range because of the way it's designed. That gimbal can look up farther and can look straight down. So, uh,
I could do vertical video.
and can do vertical video, right? Yeah. I noticed there's a big difference in roll video there too, which makes sense too, because that whole camera will flip around. But the tilt is probably, in my mind, is the most important thing because that has to do with how far the drone can pitch forward, and that lookup that you get on the Mini 3 could be important to some people. I
Hmm.
don't use it that often, Ron, but when you want it, you're happy it's there.
Yep, yep, and, with that kind of, the way that the gimbal and camera designed the Mini 3, it allows it to, fly faster without having the gimbal push down, towards the ground like some other drones.
Right, right, exactly right. Controllable range. So that's how far you can control it with the little gimbal wheel on the controller.
Right.
Which of course it's going to be more on the Mini 3. So, for whatever that's worth. And then we talked about the downward vision system already, and they're all the same. They don't have any kind of obstacle avoidance other than downward. And the reason that that's important is as the drone is descending in for a landing, it tells it where the ground is, so it knows when to slow down and stop. And it also the optical flow sensor tells the drone whether it's moving or not. Right? It
Yeah.
can hold its place better with that optical flow
Yeah, yeah,
sensor.
yeah,
So
it
that
hovers real nice with that, downward sensing, and to get any of the obstacle avoidance, you'd have to upgrade to the Mini 3 Pro.
Mini 3 Pro, and then they're talking about the hovering range here. So, uh, yeah. So there we go. Now, Ron, I don't know if you want to talk about this next one, video transmission.
Oh, yeah, that's a biggie for
Yeah,
many people that the older SE only had the enhanced Wi-Fi along with the Mavic Mini 1, where now the 2 SE moves up to the modern O2 system. That's gonna be a big deal for many people, because, not just range, but also increased signal penetration, so you have better control around trees and buildings and objects and so on. So that's a big win for a lot of people.
yep. 720p view quality though on all of them.
Yeah.
So what you see, and that looks good. I mean, I don't know, Ron, have you ever?
Correct me if you're wrong. If you upgrade to the Mini 3 Pro, you get 1080p,
You,
right?
you, you do, and it looks better. But I'm saying it's not like 720 when you're looking at that little screen. It looks
Yeah,
good.
if you hold it close to your eyes, it looks good.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The rest of this stuff on operating frequency, transmitter power, I really don't care. Do you? I don't. It's all but meaningless to me. Max transmission distance, free from interference. Now that does mean something,
Yeah,
and yeah, there is a big difference between the SE and the other two. OcuSync 2 as opposed to enhanced Wi-Fi, 4 kilometers and 10 kilometers on the other two. You and I are looking at FCC. If you're in Europe, you're looking at CE. So much less in Europe, and whatever these other
yeah,
abbreviations are there for other countries, I don't know, but they're the same as CE.
yeah.
And I noticed that DJI has been doing this for a while. They kind of give you real world distance. If you're in an urban landscape, you're not going to get as much distance. Suburban, much less. If you're like it says here on the seaside, you're liable to get that max distance. Very possible.
Mm-hmm.
Download speed, and I think what they're talking about that is downloading from the drone,
Wireless transfer.
wireless transfer. I believe that's what that means, and only the Mini 3 has that.
Right.
Latency, so you get better latency with OS 2, obviously. Antennas, yeah, they're no data, but they're talking about the antennas on the Mini 3. The batteries are the other
And
thing.
we know the antennas in the DGR C1 controller in the phone holder
Yeah, and I think what they're talking about here is on the
is
drone
what's in the
itself.
drone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we really don't know about the other two.
And
I'm
I
sure.
believe the Mini 2, the controllers that the antennas I believe were in the back legs.
I
Only because I've done it before where I've flown out and I turn the drone around to bring it back. As soon as I turn it around to bring it back, it loses image transmission because I moved the antennas to the
yeah.
back. So I just, instead of doing that, I just fly backwards for a while.
Oh yeah, there you go. So battery capacity. This is the milliampere hour of the battery. So a little bit more on the Mini 3. The Plus
Yeah.
battery obviously is a lot more.
Yeah.
The weight. And by the way, if you use the Plus battery on the Mini 3, it does put you over that.
Hey,
200.
I'm gonna take that off the rails a little bit here, but I never had a chance to bring this up in any of our shows of conversation. Our good friend Mikey, affiliate Drone Life, he swears that that plus battery not only gives you more time, but he says it makes the drone fly faster, better, and more powerful. That it's almost like a supercharger or whatever. He puts that plus battery in his drones it's like a Corvette now instead of a minivan.
Instead of a Honda Civic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got a chance to side by side test that out. I need to go out and fly the standard battery and the plus battery back to back and see if I notice
See if you can
what I'm
notice the
talking
difference.
about. Have
Sure.
you ever
Yeah.
taken notice of that?
I have. I've never noticed that, Ron, but in some sense, it kind of makes sense. So that's possible. Yeah. But probably the bigger thing here to keep in mind with these batteries is flight time. The reality is with the two SE drones, if you're up in the air for 20, 22 minutes, that's a full flight because
You need to start thinking about landing.
yeah, you always want to land with 20% battery or so if you can. That
Yeah,
helps the battery
yeah.
last longer. Charging voltage, nominal voltage, what does that mean to me? Nothing really. They're all lithium ion batteries.
Yeah.
Which is kind of odd to me. I always thought that the Mini 2 was lithium polymer, but evidently not.
But that polymer battery that came in the Mavic Mini 1, it'll work in the Mini 2 series of drones, right?
Well, no, the Mini 1 is lithium ion. That's what
Yeah,
that's
yeah. I'm sorry. The lithium ion will work. Well, anyhow, that different battery, the battery that did not smart discharge, that came in
well,
the Mini
so
1.
so that was the confusion. That's what I was trying to tell you, Ron. They're saying here that they're all lithium ion, so
Okay.
including the original Mavic Mini. And in the original Mavic Mini, as you just said, it did not automatically discharge, and it wasn't a problem because
Yeah.
it's a lithium ion battery. So
Now that you mentioned that, remember even like the Mavic 3 has the Lion battery, but somebody said whether it's polymer or Lion that discharging, that doesn't mean anything. It's a matter of how they build the battery and program it. They can all discharge or not discharge at all. It's all whatever the company wants them to do.
yeah, yeah. And the point being that you and I aren't battery experts, so yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, 17.32 watt hours of energy, if that means anything to you. Charging temperature, yeah, as you would expect, 41 degrees Fahrenheit to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So You're
So
gonna
don't
be
panic if your
charged.
battery feels a little warm when it's charging.
Yeah, yeah. So then we're getting down to the remote controller, Ron, and we've talked about that already. I think the significant stat here is this one where they're talking about how much operating time you get. The RCN one, you get a ton of time, 6 hours. But if it's charging your mobile device, it's 4 hours. Well, trust
Right.
me, that's plenty of flights between a charge. That's 6 or 8 flights between charges. So
Yeah.
that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
The rest of this stuff, I don't know. If you're a radio guy, that might mean something to you, but it doesn't so
Yeah.
much to me. So
Yeah.
that's about all I got with this thing, Ron. If I don't know uh, if there was anything more, you said Drone DJ had some statistics, but
Yeah, I don't know if I should put drone. I don't put drone DJ's
yeah,
chart here because I want people to go there and say. But I'll just kind of, just kind of.
you can talk
I'm not
about
going
it.
to go step by step like we did just there. I'm only going to talk about the differences here.
Okay.
The price we already know. The max flight time we covered. Of course, this is compared to the Mini 2 and not the the Mavic, the Mini 3. Now it says this here, the Mini 2 has 31 minutes, the same as the Mini 2 SE, which is a minute more than the regular SE. The sea level thing's not important to most people. Now this said this is different than your chart, and again, this is just Joan DJ putting together. So take that with a grain of salt. They say that the wind speed is level 5 for the Mini 2 and the Mini 2 SE, but not Mini level 4 for the SE.
Yeah, that's not what DJI just said.
Yeah,
Who
yeah, yeah.
knows?
That's
Yeah,
a little bit different.
yeah.
Um, and let's see here. I'm trying to take a difference. We didn't talk about the camera, the pixels. Now this is different too. This says that the Mini 2 SE has 100 megabit bit rate, even though the other chart said 40.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's
We
differences
will
there.
we'll, I'll tell you what. I'll be able to tell you when I get the drone because I can look after I take a picture with it. But
Right, right. And we talked about the panos, and the quick shots.
I have a difference on the quick shots that I found that didn't show on that sheet that I was just going through, but I looked at their promotional stuff. The Mini 2 SE, the 2 SE as opposed to the regular SE, includes the boomerang.
That's what this
Which
chart has. This chart has the boomerang and not
yeah, yeah,
on the 2 SE and not the regular
yeah, the
SE.
regular one did not have that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we talked about digital zoom. Well, again, I'm comparing to the Mini 2 now. So as we mentioned before, the Mini 2 has of course 4K, and it has 60 frames per second at 2.7, which they removed from the Mini 2 SE. So and it says, of course, it says the Mini 2 has quick transfer, where the Mini 2 SE doesn't.
Right. That's true.
So of course we know about optical avoidance. So yeah, I mean, again, basically all the 2 SE it's just the Mini 2, and then through firmware they've taken some stuff out.
They've stripped it down a little bit, but I still think it's a good deal just because of the price.
Yeah, well, let's see. Let me get back to my big screen. I'm on a long screen. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If if $339 is that's all you're ever going to have to spend on a drone, just buy it. That's it, or whatever. But I would say right now, if you could, if a time goes by, you could save a little bit more money up. Well, hopefully you save it up before the sale goes off on that Mini 3 and put out, is it $80 or $90 more? No, I've got about 120 more to get the Mini 3.
The Mini 3. Yeah, so Ron, let's talk about the market for this drone.
And this is going to be a deep conversation. So real quick, let me put in there. Actually, what I tell you to do right now is just either go out to get the Costco deal on the Mini 2 Flywire bundle, or go to DJI's official eBay store. I'm sure they got a Mini 2 refurb, and probably even Mini 2 Fly More refurb in there, and you could probably get it cheaper than that Mini 3, but more than 339 somewhere. What's the latest Costco deal that you saw?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that boy, the last Costco deal I saw had the Autel Nano Plus.
Oh,
Ron, give me just a second if you
yeah.
want to.
And let me, yeah, let me just, folks, just so we're kind of clear, the Mini 2 is a better drone than the Mini 2 SE, even though the SE's newer. It's a stripped down version. If you can grab a Mini 2, even an official refurb from DJI, grab it instead. Especially if you can get it, around about the same price.
Right, right, right.
And the Mini 2s, the Mini SE's gone. The Mini 2 SE probably won't be available from DJI too much longer,
You,
discounting refurbs and stuff like that. So if you can get it quick.
you're talking about the Mini SE.
The Mini 2.
Oh, the Mini 2.
Get the Mini 2 before it
Yeah, yeah,
disappears from
yeah,
DJI's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
or stores like Best Buy or whatever.
Which
Because it won't be around much longer outside of refurbs.
Ron, I am looking up that Costco price as we speak here. Give me
And
just.
we talk Costco, but there's other places that have certain deals on Mini 2s also, where you maybe you don't get the complete Flywheel kit, but maybe you get 2 batteries or something. Or
Yeah, so let's see here.
And don't worry so much about getting a case, folks, because you can always go to, here it comes, Marcus, the shameless plug. You can always go over to Start RC on Amazon and get yourself a Mini 2 case for next to nothing, like $20-$30.
Okay, the Mini 2 bundle on Costco is $439.99.
So folks know that bundle. So what does that bundle include?
Includes it's 2 batteries and a little case and the RCN1 controller.
Okay.
So
So there you go. The batteries for the Mini 2 are what, like $50-$60?
yeah, something like that. I'd have to go look that up,
Yeah,
Ron.
don't look.
Yeah,
It does make a point that's a tremendous value. I would buy that kit all day long over getting the Mini 2 SE.
yeah. And so now I'm looking up the Mini 2 refurb
The,
on
the official eBay
eBay.
store.
Yeah, and let me see what I can find here. Yeah, this is just an amazing deal. The official DJI eBay store, uh, with the Fly More bundle. Well, actually, I don't think this includes a case, but it does include 3 batteries. This is wild, $369. So it's not exactly the Fly More combo, but it is the Mini 2 with 3 batteries and the RCN1 controller. So you don't get a case and you don't get the little charge bank.
Okay.
But $369.
So
Hey, that's
$30 more than the 2 SE. Yeah.
why wouldn't you do that? You get a couple more batteries and you get all the.
A better drone and more batteries. And
Yeah,
again, you can
yeah,
always go buy a very affordable starter RC case
yeah,
for
yeah.
that
And of
Mini.
course, this is something that who knows how long it'll be available too, right? So,
Yeah.
but
At
it's
that
done
price, it won't be
nonetheless.
available long, Marcus.
Yeah, I would say.
Okay, so let's go back to your original thought here. Who's this drone? Who's this drone for? And we by drone, we mean the 2 SE.
Okay, Ron. So, uh, I often test some of these Amazon drones from Holy Stone and Ruko and Potensic and some of those other brands. They're all right around that price. They're in those anywhere from $300 to $400 in that price range. Let
Mm-hmm.
me tell you, they are not even close to the capabilities of that Mini 2 SE. So that Mini 2 SE is the option for a first drone for somebody that doesn't, they're not sure if they want to do the hobby or they're just casual about the hobby. That's something you're not breaking the bank, but you're still going to get really professional results with.
Yeah, and don't be fooled by some of the the Amazon drones that Marcus talked about, because they're going to come on hardware stats. They're going to say they got 4K. They're going to say they have waypoints and precision landing. They're going to list a laundry list of all these good features that the Mini 2 SE doesn't have. But the point is, we've said this many times, their 4K won't look as good as the Mini 2 SE's 2.7K.
Not even close. Yeah, not even
Yeah.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, and their gimbals won't be as stable.
The
Uh,
controls aren't as precise.
yeah, and you may get waypoints on there. And again, I'm not saying that waypoints won't be suitable waypoints for a budget drone, but
But I get an answer for you there too, and I'll bet you know what it is.
yeah, well, yeah, you go, yeah, well, yeah, I don't know how soon they'll hit the Litchi app, since it is the Mini 2 basically, and the Mini 2 already runs on the Litchi. Will the 2 SE be on the Litchi
I bet it
almost
will.
immediately?
I bet it will, Ron. I bet it'll. I bet it
Yeah.
will. You can run it on
And
Litchi.
the Litchi app has better waypoints than any toy drone. The Litchi app has better waypoints than anybody. So
Right. Yeah. Yep. That's it, Ron. Good point. That was the point that I was making. So the point being, for $339, holy cow, what a value. Now, an even better value is obviously that refurb one on eBay of the Mini 2, but that's not something that's going to probably be available forever.
yeah, and back to the Amazon things, those tool drones, they're going to promise these nice cases and landing pads. They're going to offer you all these goodies. It's going to look like a great deal. It is. It's going to be tempting, but don't do it.
The product is inferior. That's the point. And we talk about this with our colleague DeMarco Moore all the time. When we started out, we didn't know the difference either, right? It was something we learned from experience. And I just always kind of feel bad when somebody buys one of those drones and they don't get the results that they had otherwise hoped to get.
It kind of goes back to the Phantom One the Mavic Pro. When the Mavic Pro first came out, remember, it was such a revolutionary design, the folding legs, the look of it, that everybody made all these drones that looked like the Mavic Pro, and they all claimed to be Mavic Pro killers.
Right.
Every toy company world would have this Mavic Pro killer out in the market. And remember, Brian Singleton used to say, he said, "Yeah, they're all Mavic Pro killers until you fly them."
Until you fly them, right? Yeah.
So just to wrap things up a little bit here, we first heard about this drone. Was it beginning of February, end of January, and then all of a sudden we had a date in early February, and a date came and went, and nothing happened. And we heard all these rumors that, well, it was available in Australia, New Zealand, but you know what? I don't think it ever came out in those places, because you can search. I searched YouTube 2 hours ago, and there's not one. There's a couple of these kind of unboxings from a month ago, but there's no unboxing, flight test, first look from any of the usual suspects of the YouTube. No. He does air. I was air flight, but
Billy Kyle,
Billy Kyle,
right.
Jevon Dovey. None of them had their first flight videos up. No, nothing. I mean, there's nobody out there with the first flight video as of about 2 hours ago. So this begs the question, Marcus: did they think so little of this drone they didn't even send it out to the YouTube influencers?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's exactly a drone that DJI wants to promote, because they probably have more margin on the more expensive drones. But that's probably.
Yeah, I mean, it all makes sense. But guess what? When you look up Mini 2 SE, there's not that much there. So you see a lot of Mini SE stuff. All the big channels like Billy Kyle got the original SE.
Did he? I was trying to remember.
Yeah, I saw a whole bunch of big, because we do the search, there's not much for 2 SE, so you see a lot of SE, and a lot of the big channels had videos up on the original SE. So it's kind of puzzling that we don't have almost anybody with it yet. So this is kind of be interesting though, Mark, because I'm not poo-pooing this, because it's going to be great when just regular people like you get it. And your videos are the ones that are going up, and you're not going up against these huge channels that are going to kind of
overshadow,
take all the air out of the room on the reviews.
Suck all the air out of them. That's a good way to put it. Hey, so one more point that I want to make is this is just such a basic little drone. The original Mini SE and the Mini 2 SE is an upgrade from this for not much more money.
Yeah.
I have had more fun with this little drone, Ron, than you can shake a stick at. It was $299. And by the way, if you really are tight on cash, but you want a real professional drone, go buy this guy on DJI's website right now as a refurb for $239. I think the Flymore kit is like $329. So that gets you three batteries, the bag, the
Yeah.
the charged case, and all that kind of stuff. Probably well worth the money, but
Yeah.
$239 and you're going to get a real drone instead of a toy.
Right, right. But just no, no, you never, again, you never know all this stuff. But if you ever think that you're gonna like, buy the SC, if you have any inkling that you're gonna get more into the hobby, don't buy the drone twice. Don't go buy the two SE. You fly it for a couple months and think, oh, I'm man, I'm really going to get the drones. I'm going to go out and buy, and I'm going to buy the Mini 3 or whatever. Don't keep buying over and over again. If you think you're going to really get into drones, just go right to the Mini 3 Pro or whatever, and not keep spending, not have a collection of drones you don't need.
Yeah, and that's what I tell people. Unless you're just an absolute casual that you only think you're going to fly the thing a couple times a
Yeah,
year,
yeah,
get the
yeah,
best drone that you can afford. Spend the
yeah,
most money that you can afford and get the best one you can, because they all add features and things that are helpful.
yeah. If you're going to fly once a month at the park on a nice Sunday afternoon, yeah, this is a drone for you then.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
you think you have any aspirations of maybe doing anything more, doing some kind of business with the drone, real estate or something like that, or whatever, if that's kind of what you inspired to, this probably is just one of the things where you're just spending $339 and then a few months later you're spending even more money.
Right, right, right.
So all right, and you have any more thoughts or anything before we get out of here? We sorry, folks, we kind of went a little bit longer than expected. We kind of this is everything you want to know about the Mini 2 SC, but we're afraid to ask. But I guess if you're looking for a lot of information, this is we kind of covered all the bases here.
I agree. I agree. So yeah, that's about it. I think we've pretty much said it all, Ron. I hope we provided some good information for folks. Well, we should. I want to say one more thing for somebody that's new and just watching this. This is a sub 249-gram drone. If you're flying it just for your own pleasure, you don't have to register. You don't have to do anything. I would encourage you to go on the FAA website and take the trust test.
Yes.
But you don't have to register it.
Now, do you think this will be just like the Mini 2 that doesn't have this drone will not have remote ID?
How would I know, Ron? I don't think it will. But I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
say. Can't
Yeah,
say.
because like the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 3 regular, they both have remote ID, right?
You know why they might? What might, because of this RCN1 controller? It's a possibly. I don't think the Mini does the Mini 2.
No,
Anyway,
no. So
yeah,
far, there's been no mention of any of the firmware updates
yeah,
or app
yeah,
updates
yeah.
of remote ID.
Yeah, for the Mini 2. So probably not right now, but maybe because it uses this controller. I'll tell you, I guarantee you. Well, I don't know. What do I know? But I doubt that the original Mini SE will, because it uses the older Wi-Fi style controller, and I'm sure it does not have as much capability.
Yeah. So you buy these I don't know the dates or whatever. Any chance that you have the Mini 2 SE in your hand by the next Drone Nation Monday night?
I Let's see what's today. I doubt it, Ron. It's a remote possibility. It's possible.
Right, right. So probably the next show after that you have it on set.
Right.
So yeah. So that's it. I mean, again, basically neither of us have flown the drone yet. We're basing all this on the specs and whatever, but again, it's basically a dumbed down Mini 2, so we kind of know what to expect here. And that's not bad because the Mini 2 is still a relevant drone, even being over 2 years old at this point, or three
Yeah.
years or however old it is.
Yeah. Fantastic little drone.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I hope this helped anybody's buying decision or not buying. In one point we're telling you how good, but then also in the other side we're telling you, well, there's other DJI drones that aren't that much more that may be better for you. So only you could decide, what's your budget and what features. But remember that when you think about your budget, don't think your budget is just like this second. Because a lot of people tell me they can't afford a certain drone, but then I see they have 3 or 4, other cheaper drones they bought. Well, if you didn't buy all those other drones, you could have bought the Air 2S, the Mavic 3, or so keep that in mind too with the budget. Not that the budget this second or whatever. It's the budget over a space of time where you could have not bought these cheaper drones and got a good one.
Yep, totally agree.
Or not, I don't mean not a good one, a more robust
one.
Yeah, more advanced, robust drone or whatever. So,
Yeah.
and again, some people absolutely need a 250 grand because they do not want to register and they do not want to be part of the remote ID thing because their hobbyist pilots is coming up in September. So there's a lot of factors going on here, and we understand, kind of all that.
Agreed.
So, all right. Marcus, thanks for contributing everything you did to this broadcast tonight.
Good stuff, Ron.
And we will definitely be back Monday. I don't know the date. What is Monday's date? Did you?
Yeah. So let's see. The 20th.
Monday the 20th. We'll be back for another Drone Nation. I got some guests lined up, but I don't want to. They're kind of still secret at this point. So
you don't want to spill the beans yet? Okay.
They don't want to spill the beans yet, but we got some, if everything goes to plan, we got some guests that have never been on the show before.
Wow.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So, and one thing I thought, we want to wish the best of health to our friend Johnny Drone Flyer, who's been a little bit under the weather while he's been touring Italy and whatever. So, little thoughts and prayers for, a good friend of Drone Nation, a big contributor, a frequent guest host on our show. So we want to give him a shout out.
I agree.
So, all right. That's it, folks. Well, we didn't do live tonight, so I don't have to thank everybody who will watch this show in the future.
There you go.
So good night, and see you Monday on Drone Nation.
See ya.
Cut.